how do you write a demo, or like what is exactly inside of a demo? Because I understand what the purpose of it is, but I don't really understand like what goes into a demo.
Yeah. What is the purpose of a demo, Gabriel?
From what I understand, it's a way for a client or someone coming out there to have a general understanding of like your range and kind of like what you can do with your voice for one, but not necessarily everything you can do with your voice, but kind of like what you uh like the best of what you can give, kind of like with the demo, because you'll mix it down and everything and get it like that. But I'll see people like they'll, especially like on Twitter. I'm not an influencer, I'm a singer, so but like they'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna write a script and then we're gonna have you all do this for like demo or like script writing for demos." I just don't quite understand like if there's like a catch-all or kind of like uh like requirements within a demo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, you're right. At the most fundamental, um, foundational levels of what a demo is indeed to showcase the best parts of your capabilities, and that's also in many contextual different definitions. A range in vocal capability, as in your normal everyday talking voice, as well as the whatever that those things are, as well as the ability to be super intimate. How well controlled can you be with your projections, as well as the different pitches that you can achieve, and different textures you can lay on under everything, and various like uh various and diverse ranges of vocal capability. That's one layer of a demo that you should indeed illustrate and demonstrate and showcase, right? That's one layer. At the same time, voice acting is not just how many voices can you make with your throat, right? It's also characterization and acting. So it's not in addition to the various types of vocalities and the modifications you can apply to your instrument, it's also your acting ability. I'd love to hear Gabriel in a moment, or some character that's you in a moment of high stress, tension, as well as this moment of pure happiness, as you open the box and there's this lovely chocolate cake that you've been looking forward to for 7 hours now. This moment of relief as you breathe in the fresh air from being stuck trapped inside the submarine for the past 2 months, and you finally smell the ocean air for the first time. The tears of happiness as your child is born next door for the first time, or across a radio wave from the other side of the world. Um, this moment of regret as you take your last breath on the battlefield for not being there enough for your girlfriend. So in this way, it's limitless, right? These moments that we could experience, we only have however many seconds that we have at our disposal. So in addition to the vocal range, there's also the story, acting, characterization range that you can also portray. And if and because it's a showcase, you want to choose and pick the ones that you're capable of, that you shine brightest in. In addition to that, it's also a range of how well are you aware of various genres of voiceover and character acting. Certainly, prelay, Western animation, Nickelodeon, The Simpsons, the Family Guy, all the prelay of Western animation carries a certain style of performance and a sound and feel and vibe that's very different than the anime, JRPG, video games that are very different than the other genres of video games. You would never hear You would never hear a SpongeBob performance in a Call of Duty video game. It wouldn't make any sense, right? So, um, and that's also very different from like live action dubbing because it's very cinematic and very different than anime. So it's also being able to showcase your understanding and your capability of producing those stylistic choices that are corresponding to various genres of character voice acting. So if you think about it in those layers, and there's more, it's vocal. I think of it as layers: vocal capabilities, acting capabilities, uh, uh, genre-specific capabilities, as well as like in this day and age of remote recording. On top of that, it's also your studio space capabilities. Um, and to properly showcase all of that, you'll need to be either a fantastic writer who's well aware of these properties and genres of VO that exist in the character space. Um, in addition to a director who is also well aware and currently is working in these various spectrums of character voice acting, and an excellent audio engineer who knows what they are doing. Um, but that's, I would argue, but when you put all those knowledges and expertise and time, when you put it together, it makes sense on why demos are so expensive at those levels, I suppose. Um, but do you need a Maserati to go to the grocery store? You don't, right? You don't. Um, so if you're as a business, as an entrepreneur, because we all are freelancers and business people of our own venture and journey, um, if all you need to do is go to the grocery store and run errands, then all you really need is a Corolla, right? Not that it's of any lesser quality. Lesser quality, I would say, than compared to a Maserati or Ferrari, sure, but purpose-driven Camry as well. Thank you, Catabel. It's classic, right? Um, does that mean you should just disregard the sub 1,000, sub 500 demo producers? No, they're servicing a specific target audience. Um, I would never advise anyone to approach a CESD or Atlas or A3 with an indie demo producer's demo. It wouldn't match. Why would you do that? At the same time, if the primary target audience and the market that you're servicing is indeed primarily in indie produced independent studios, one person studios, smaller projects per se, then you don't necessarily need a $3,000 demo, right? So when you say like I'm confused about demos, there's a lot more to the breadth and the depth of what a demo is and what it does and what one needs according to where they may be in their journey. But at the fundamentals of it all, it is, you're absolutely right. It is showcasing and demonstrating one's capabilities in various definition of ranges. Now, if you're auditioning for like visual novels by this studio who is run by two people, and they're because there's low budget productions, they're paying X, Y, and Z money, it wouldn't make business sense for you to go and get a $5,000 demo, right? So even at the very early phases, no one needs a demo, especially in the early phases. No one needs a demo. They need a website. That much is, it's a business. Every business needs a website, and it's free. Why would you not do it? Right? It's freaking free. On a website, record some samples. That's free. No, you don't have to pay for that. There's plenty of scripts out there. Don't use the copyrighted intellectual property ones, obviously, but there's a Himalayan mountain amount of free monologues out there for stage actors and film actors and blah, 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 blah. Go find the script, modify it just a little bit to make it a little bit different, to make it fit you better, because you're the one doing it, right? Then record a sample. What I've advised everybody to do is record these samples, right? Gabriel in a moment of stress, Gabriel in a moment of happiness, in a moment of tragedy, in a moment of death, or whatever it is, these stories that you may find that resonate with you. Holy crap, that's cool. Record these tiny little 10, 13, 15-second moments and scenes, tiny little MP3s, and put them up on SoundCloud and make a playlist. And title those playlists as, um, you know, John Smith dying on a battlefield. Um, Young man nervous about going on a first date. Um, this young woman breaking up with her loved one of 7 years in this restaurant. Tiny little labels and make a playlist. And now, when your client visits your website, they can look at a playlist and go, "Oh, oh, that's the person I came here to look for and listen to, and look at all the things that this voice actor can do. Wow!" And there's no one single MP3 that says character demo, and they have to wait like, I don't know, 47 seconds to get to that one that they came for. Um, it's a free, cost-effective way to showcase and demonstrate your abilities. Do you need a demo? You do. Everybody needs a demo eventually, because of the practice of submit your demo to X, Y, and Z. The studio. When the studio roster, it's because it's impossible for them to maintain 17 samples of you, right? Uh, no one wants to. You need a demo to submit to things. But I would argue today in 2022, whereas a demo from the 1992 would be indeed, here's what I'm capable of. And you can't approach a studio with 17 CDs and go, here you go, right? You can't. So it made sense to have one audio file that was indeed a collection, a sampler platter of everything that you could do, buffalo wings and chicken strips and nachos over here. But today, when these audio files are so accessible in this way, no one hands out a business card anymore. It's QR codes and NFC chips, and here's go to my website, right? Um, it doesn't make sense to have a demo and have that be the primary thing that advertises what you're capable of. Yet it's the industry practice that hasn't gone away and probably will not go away for the foreseeable future. Much of the same way that we still wear neckties in business meetings. What the heck is a necktie purpose? What is it for? Right? Why do we even wear ties? Um, or heels for that matter. My goodness. That's what I'm saying. So some of these archaic practices of the industry still exists, and you can't stand your ground and be irrelevant to the industry. So you have to have a demo. Um, I get it, right? There's a sense of confidence that comes with like, I feel sexy today in these shoes, in this dress, makeup and all. I get it, absolutely. And demo is the same thing. Here's a thing that I need to show whoever's listening, whoever I'm marketing to, whoever's listening to this, that I'm serious. Um, the demo that's on my site, the one that you heard, the one that's pinned to my Twitter profile, I got that. I had that made. I received the final cut of it last week or week and a half ago, something like that. It's new, huzzah! And I'm actively marketing with it behind the scenes that nobody knows, right? And that demo cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Of course it did. But the clients that I'm servicing through my agencies and directly to various studios aren't exactly the ones who are putting out casting calls on Casting Call Club, if you will, and and the casting director, the marketing department over at Ubisoft don't are gonna expect something more from me, if you will, right? So was I here on day one? No, of course not. On day one, in fact, day 10 maybe, I had a self-made demo. Of course I did. and a list of samples, because that's what I knew what to do, and that was appropriate for my journey at the time. And I pay for an indie demo to service those clients. Now, because I'm servicing a different target audience and my own specific clientele, the demo that's appropriate for that set of clients is what I have to market myself, which is applicable to the indie studios that I still currently work with, and the one and the rosters and studios that I still submit to this day.
Thank
So
you again.
no, it's my pleasure. It's not just an audio file that showcases your capabilities. It's so much more, and the conversation around demos is indeed so much more than just this is what I can do. You know what I mean? It's a loaded question by all means, and but it's a question that needs to be asked, and a conversation that needs to be had. And I'm glad you brought it up. Thanks for bringing that up. Questions, concerns, thoughts. I'm here till it's 11:20 at my end. I'm here till 2, another hour and a half. Use me as a resource. I'm here to answer questions, listen to concerns, whatever it might be. I'm here.
I love your voice and Genshin and stuff.
That's very, very kind. Thank you very much. I love you and your voice,
Oh,
actually.
thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Genshin is awesome. I agree.
Yeah, I like to watch your posts and stuff.
And please learn, right? I make these clips and do the streams with the information in hopes that other folks will take the information and implement into their own journeys and their efforts. It's fun. It's fun for me because I'm a teacher, educator at heart, and this is what gives me joy and happiness. And nothing will make me more like effervescently bubbly and happy and all giggly than
Same.
than you like succeeding as a voice actor.
Yeah, I love to see
Everybody
other
here.
voice actors too. Yeah, I love that.
I'm trying to help. I'm trying to disseminate information, assist individuals as best I can, so that we can succeed in this line of work. That's happiness, absolutely. And drink water. Everybody drink water.
Also, Tosh, do you want to hang out after this? Okay.
But you're not gonna sit there and tell me I've been saying your name the wrong way this whole time, right? I've been calling her Tash this whole time.
Oh,
It
it's
is
Tash.
Tash.
Okay.
Sorry, I say Tosh, sorry, because of I learned the vowel A wrong when I grew up. So can you please forgive me, Tash?
Oh no, you're fine. Burger calls
Okay.
me Tosh as well.
Okay, yes. No, I will learn it, Tash.
What the
I
hell?
keep saying it
Correct
over and
people.
over. Yeah, no, I have to say it over and over again for me to get
That's
it.
what my boyfriend always says. So he's like, "Tell them what your name is," and I'm like, "Look,
Yeah.
What's
it's
wrong
been
with you? Tell
on
them
the
that they're
5th.
wrong.
On the 5th, it'll be 25 years, and it's like I've heard so many different. I've heard Tasha, Tish, Tosh. I don't know.
I think Kevin calls you Tash.0 or something.
Yeah, I've heard that too in high school and middle school. And then I don't even know where one kid got Tish from. And then
Tish?
yeah,
Hey,
my
Tish.
college professor used to call me Tash by Calvin Klein. And
Tash by Calvin Klein.
because he said it smelled like a fancy perfume. And I was like, thank you. But and then I heard Tashane. Oh, because my full name is Tash. Yeah.
Wait, your full name is what?
Tashane.
Tashane. Okay.
So yeah, I haven't heard it all. So I'm like immune to it, I guess. It doesn't bother me.
It's Tash, not Tosh.
Well, I know I'm gonna call you now, Tashne. That's what I'm gonna do. Tashne.
Not the government.
Now that I know. Tashne.
Yeah. Apparently it's Arabic, in case you were wondering.
Yo, names
I don't know what the
So was mine. Mine was originally Sonia, then I changed it to Sophia Catabel for the Greek spelling instead.
OMG.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can see it though.
Yeah.
Welcome to the call, Liam, Jason, Queen. I'm hanging out. It's office hours for me, like college experience. 11:24 on my end. I'm gonna be here till 1 p.m. So another hour and a half. Feel free to ask questions, bring up concerns, bounce things off of me. I'm here to serve and I'm here to help. So otherwise, if you don't speak up, I'm gonna work on my own things here, obviously. But should you have something, unmute and say it. Absolutely.
I have a quick question. First off, thank you for your time. As a person who's just starting out, and still questioning if I want to make this a career, I was wondering if you'd be willing to share any hard decisions or choices you had to make for your career. If you're willing to share that.
No, no stories. How dare you ask? No, 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 no. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Like everybody needs their bills paid, right? And dropping $10,000 on a booth is never an easy decision. My gosh. It's not about the amount of money that goes into this, and at the basis, um, of all human beings in today's society, financial viability, especially if we're talking about voice acting as a career choice, financial stability and financial viability should be a heavily loaded and very crucially important discussion by yourself with others, so that we can weigh in and make an informed decision, right?
For sure.
Um, for me, buying the studio bricks that you see behind me was a very difficult choice, a very easy choice, while it should be difficult for so many people. Um, and I'll backtrack as there's a story. Let me backtrack as I go and why I say it this way. Um, Before this, I used to have a whisper room. Um, the cheapest of the kind, single walled, no treatment on the inside. It was years ago. And then I read about treatment, so I put in more treatment on the inside, and it was viable. It was suitable. It was okay. Um, until the pandemic hit, right? And my kids, who were going to school, couldn't go to school in person, so they were doing at-home learning, distance learning, as we all did. And because there's more bodies in the house, I needed better isolation and better treatment. Da 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 da. So, spending the money in on this, investing it into my future, because I knew I needed to upgrade eventually. It was an easy decision. Here you go. And because of the nature of my business and how I perceive my financial viability, um, I saved, still do, like a madman, as best I can, as quickly as I can, which is the reason for the equipment that I can afford, marketing that I can afford. Everything's budgeted out like a business, as all of our journeys should, in whatever scale and capacity. Um, but that mindset, I think, it was the biggest, most impactful decision, uh, that guided and aided and still like informs my decisions today, to really look at this whole thing as a business entrepreneurial journey, because it is. Um, Dropping 10K on a studio bricks, dropping 3K on a microphone, another $1,500 on an Apollo Twin, again, strictly financially, right? Are easy decisions, because as a business, I know that these are investments into my business that's going to pay out in the end. And I don't expect success in 24 hours. No one should, right? That's not how this works. Um, so slowly and surely, not that you have to do the same, no one here, but slowly and surely investing in your business and growing it, clientele, acting ability, list of clients, capabilities, classes that you'll take, marketing money that you'll spend, the time that you'll invest into this in cold emailing and whatever it is, social media presence. Um, for me, that was the biggest switch. I don't have a business degree. Have not taken a single business class in my life ever. And indeed, I still operated at age 36 when I switched to voiceover from teaching. That this was a journey of an actor. Oh, I'll go be a waiter at this place and do auditions at home, whatnot. So like from so for there was 1 year from 2016 to 2017 that I continued to work full time as a teacher and did voiceover at nighttime, as many folks do. They do their day job and they come home and do the voiceover thing until one day there's enough business that can like swap over or flip over. Um, but at the end of 2017, after listening to like Mark Scott, Viopreneur, and other podcasts, other voice actors, interviews, and da 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 da, as I learned more, as talking to people, and after making that mindset shift of this is not a journey of an actor in the traditional sense that we may perceive it as, but more of a one of an entrepreneur and running a business. The decisions that fell in the future past now, but future ahead, became a lot more clearer. Why do I need a demo, right? Questions like these. Um, is it more viable to have a whisper room than a closet booth? Both will sound perfectly fine, right? Your closet booth is perfectly fine, but uh, being able to write in those proposals, in those emails, and being able to say that I work from inside a whisper room to record. Um, the folks who are in this industry know what a whisper room is, as opposed to I have a home studio, which can be anything, right? So, um, the decision to purchase a whisper room was more about the marketing aspect of what I'm capable of. Rather, it was sound too, no question. It certainly improved the audio quality that I was able to demonstrate in my auditions, and in the remote connection work that I was able to do. But the business and entrepreneurial lens that I was looking at this whole thing through, it made sense. And sure enough, clients were more responsive. I was able to win more of those jobs and bids and auditions, that I was able to connect with various clients and won those jobs because I was able to, number one, like bring out better quality audio, but because I was able to put Whisper Room and they know what it is and they're assured that the audio quality coming out of my booth was good. And acting and voice and narration capabilities are demonstrated in the audition. So I didn't have to like I'm an actor, I promise. It's there, right there in the performance. But um fundamentally, looking at this whole thing as a business, spending my time on social media to make sure that I'm not known in that narcissistic way, but that my clients who are casting directors and studio production people, directors and engineers, the people that we work with, know that I exist, know who I am. Marketing, thank you very much. Not here's my demo, hire me, listen to me, cast me in these things, which is aggressive and pushy, and nobody wants that. Not market. That's not the definition of marketing at all. But more focused on the branding. This is who I am, and this is what I'm capable of, and this is what I stand for. And not go to my website, not listen to my listen to my demos, not put me on the list, but raising awareness that I exist, raising awareness that I'm here, raising awareness of the equipment that I work with, my history, what I believe in. The day that I'm hired to narrate a political spot for a Republican nominee is the day that I will quit. So stuff like that, right? whatever it might be. I'll never do political things unless it aligns with my views, stuff like that, right? So, um, the decision circling back to your questions, the decision to look at this journey as a journey of a business person, entrepreneur, was the biggest shift, uh, a beneficial one, certainly, that continues to guide me to this day. Is this action I'm about to take, whatever it is, business driven, ROI driven? Is the time and the money and the effort and the energy I'm gonna pour into this thing, is it going to pay me back in revenue in some way? And revenue isn't always money, of course. It's connections, it's people, it's experience and knowledge and all the things. Um, and that's probably the most difficult, and the most scary for a lot of voice actors, precisely because we're not business people, and the art of acting, isn't always associated with running a business. you know, so
Yeah,
that
I
was the
feel that.
scariest and the most like impactful shift of mindset. Many others, of course, but that's the first one I suggest that you explore into.
I see. Thank you so much. That was really helpful answer. Thank you.
Very cool. My pleasure.
Hi. If there aren't any other questions, I'll go. My name is Queen, and I'm like fresh, like really brand new to voice acting. Like I've only been doing it a couple of months. I just finished up with the VA 101 class, and I'm like super excited. And I've been doing a lot of like submissions and auditions and everything, and I love it. And I was just wondering, like, as a new actor, is it better to have like a solid voice that I kind of like reuse for characters, similar to like I guess what you would do in a demo, or should I be in a space where I'm more like going into each audition kind of fresh and just going with the character to kind of build on that?
If you don't mind me asking, right? And privacy issues, completely understand. If you don't mind me asking, and if you feel comfortable divulging this information, please tell me, how old are you?
I'm 25.
I want everybody here to think about this, but in your own context, right? Queen is 25 years old. Queen, that means you have played the character of Queen Wilkes for 25 years.
Yeah.
Literally from the day you were born, every day, 24/7. In fact, Queen, you play the character of Queen so well that you dream like her, right? Um,
Yeah.
and if some entity in some other dimension were to peer into our universe and honed in on you and wrote down the things that you said, it would be a script, would it not?
Yeah, I think about that a lot actually. Yeah.
All of this to say, Queen, that there is indeed one character, if not anything, there is one character that you can play very well without even thinking about it. And the best actors of this world cannot play Queen Wilkes better than you can. So, uh, 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 based on that foundation, from that idea and concept and philosophy, what if we brought the character that we know how to play the best, naturally the best, into these fictitious stories that we are presented with?
Mm.
That's acting.
Thank you. I love that answer. Thank you.
So, as you circling back to your actual question, Queen, when you're presented with an audition or set of words to say, which are not yours, right? So the idea of education and training and honing of the craft is precisely, how would I say these words? um, the honing of the craft for an actor, voice actor, specifically in our context, is the raising of the self awareness, improving of our own self awareness of how would I say these words in a given situation, scenario, context. Because these words you didn't write, and because you and I have no problem communicating with each other like this, and these words that I'm saying are certainly not written down in a script by someone else. I'm formulating these words and speaking with you in this manner out of the volition and creativity of my own concept forming capability in my brain. It's not written down anywhere. However, yet, when we're confronted, confronted aggressively, with a set of words that someone else wrote, and our job, which is as actors, is to say the words as believably as we can. That's the disconnect, wouldn't you say? Right? You didn't write these words. You weren't in that situation, faced with the general of the other army on the other side, head to head, locked in a single duel with a pistol, 50 feet away. You weren't there, right? It's not genuine to your experience. So I would say the craft that you're developing, the acting that you're learning, the business that you're growing is more from the artistic creative side of an actor. I would say it's more about the self-awareness that confirms and verifies and validates and authenticates, is what you just said, the way you said it, indeed how you would do it in real life if that were to happen to you. And your ability, everybody here, any actor's ability to be able to 100,000% say that's exactly how I would do it, because I know myself. I've been playing you for 25 years. I've been playing me for 42. Believe me. And I've been focusing on and listening in and analyzing and assessing my own self-awareness since I was 16 as an actor. Thankfully, I've had wonderful teachers who highlighted these elements of self-awareness as an actor, and I've been indeed archiving my experiences, and I know myself very well. Would I say it in this way? Here's a bunch of words. Here's a given context. How would I do it? I know exactly how I would react and respond in that scenario. So do you. Everybody here, so do you. Imagine we recently had a huge lottery, right? $1.2 billion, right? And if you knew, great. If you didn't, still it applies. You've secretly, maybe, or privately, imagined yourself winning in that moment with your piece of paper on the website or on TV as the numbers roll out and whatever it is, and the last number lands and it fucking matches. You've thought about that moment. You've imagined it in some, maybe not exactly lottery, fine, but other stories and other scenarios where that happens. You winning something in this capacity. You've thought about it. And in your thoughts, in your imagination, you've also thought about how you'd react and what you would do. If I had $1 million, that's a question everybody has answered in some way in your journey so far, 25 years. That's acting. What would I do if this were to happen? How would I do it if XYZ were to happen? Here's an audition where in this quick story, this 7-second audition story where I'm confronted with my ex-boyfriend at Starbucks. What would I do? And being able to answer that question with this is what I would do, and be able to execute and live in that fictitious pretend story for 7 seconds, and then being able to say, yeah, that's exactly how I do it, is the work of an actor. Look at this whole thing from that lens, from that perspective, through that lens, and then go forward, I would say. Give that a try and see if that works.
Okay,
Thank you
so
so much.
I'm sorry. I have a question too now.
Yeah.
So where does that blur the line between how would I say it or how would I react in this moment with the words on the paper? Like, what if the way that you would react, like you just couldn't put it in the words that they put, you know?
By changing the context.
Uh,
Instead of maybe in the script you're talking to John. Well, we don't know who John is, right? Or maybe a script is going to give you on a casting call audition script is going to give you a bunch of information. Sure. Name is Jane, and she's 22 years old, and she's experiencing a breakup for the first time by her high school sweetheart because he's found someone else. I don't know, whatever, right?
yeah.
And depending on how you fill in the rest of the context, Swiss cheese, right? It's gonna spit out a certain performance because you're the one creating the moment, and if there's ever a uncertainty of is that how I do it? Is that how I would react? I'm not sure. Then change the context. We're not at a Starbucks anymore. We're in a fiery duel with swords in hand.
Yeah.
And try it. And if that works, if that resonates, and you're like, yeah, that's how I do it, then you're onto something. And keep digging down until a performance that comes out of you is, holy crap, yeah, that's exactly how I do it. Then you have a good take. Precisely because the casting director listening is not gonna know your context.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be like, well, I tried it. Hi, I'm Tash. God, I forgot already. Tashne. I'm Tashne. And in this audition, I'm battling my ex-boyfriend in a gladiator battle. You're not gonna say that in your audition.
Right.
You're not gonna do that, right? So whatever story it is that's in your imagination, the moment that you're living through, no one's gonna know. Literally, no one's gonna know, and there's 0.000000001 possibility that they might go, ooh, this is her obviously battling a boyfriend in a gladiator battle. What the right? It's, okay, fine, but most likely they're gonna hear something else, according to their own imagination and history. So everybody here has the freedom to tell whatever story they want according to their own experiences of the last 25 years or however old you are, because they're not gonna know. So you have the freedom to switch it up as however you'd like it, because they're not gonna know. As long as it's in alignment with the specs that they're giving you, of course. In take two, you can vary it up even more so, sure. But in both of those takes, 1 and 2 and 3, it should be, yeah, that's exactly how I do it. Self-awareness. It's good because it's good acting. It's believable. Because I believe you when you talk to me about these things. Because why I don't have a reason to think that you're lying to me right now. Is Gabriel really Gabriel? I don't know. You know, when you meet people pre-pandemic, you shake their hand, they shake your hand, and they say, "Hi, I'm Jonathan." You believe them.
Yeah.
Right? Even though they're playing a character, really in life.
If I may, I have a follow-up to that.
Yeah.
Question to that. So if I'm understanding your advice correctly, when it comes to a character that differs drastically from who you are as a person, your values, your personality. For instance, we recently, Coasting Credits did a open mic night session, and one of the reads that was presented was of a serial killer, and it was about the serial killer being indecisive about killing a victim. And so, if I'm understanding your advice correctly, what would be optimal is to sort of take that situation and be like, okay, what is something that I've been indecisive about, and sort of use that my own indecisiveness with another topic while reading those lines. Because I mean, obviously, I hope none of us are relate to that other character.
You never know.
You never know. That's true. That's true.
Let me respond to that like this, Jason. Don't tell us right? Don't tell in with the six of us here. Don't tell us, or do. It's up to you, right? But I want everybody here to think about this. There is at least one person that you would kill if given the opportunity, and if provided with guaranteed immunity, right? Guaranteed safety and immunity to your person, to your reputation, to your family, just safe from all consequences, all of it. And nobody will know, right? There is that one person, or many, that you would happily kill, right? Maybe not. That's fine too. Maybe not. But let's pretend that we do, for the sake of argument, that there is this one person, whoever it is, for whatever reason, that you would indeed love to kill.
All right, I'll bite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I've said in the previous rant, apologies, no one is going to know what you're doing in your booth. And there's a 0.00 many zeros 0.1% that the casting director will know who it is you're talking about. Why not do it? And maybe this person that you're seriously consider killing, you obviously haven't acted on it yet, right? For me, it's Donald Trump. Let's just use somebody very public for the sake of our argument.
Sure,
I
sure.
would love to kill Donald Trump. I would, if given the opportunity and the viability of doing so. And could I, for the sake of argument, in this fictitious pretense, could I devise a plan to carry out my mission? I could. At the same time, I know that there's a lot of logistical hurdles that I would have to get over, including the Secret Service, and lots of work from voiceover business that I'm running. It's a point of indecisiveness, wouldn't you say? For me personally, and for whoever it is that you're thinking of, right?
Sure, yeah.
And could you lean into that story as you say the words that are in that script?
You
What do you
could.
think?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely see what you're saying. You sort of like take it, the scenario, and you can sort of make it more personalized for yourself as an actor. Yeah.
Because your story is different than Gabriel's or Catabel's or Queen's or Tashnay's or mine.
Right.
And it's gonna bring out a certain performance out of you. The I have many people I like to kill. As terrible as that sounds, but I use them in my acting, and no
Me
one knows.
too.
Thank you, right? And no one has to know, right? No one has to know. Nobody's publicizing what context that they're using in an audition. No one has to know. But it is beneficial, highly beneficial, to build an archive of people to talk to for
Mhm.
various purposes and in the ranges of auditions that we may receive. Now, I was going in this other direction, like if the character that you're playing, considering auditioning for, is so far removed from who you are and what your experience has been like so far, then also consider abandoning it, not
Right.
auditioning for it. There's no point in me auditioning for a 14-year-old magical girl. None. I can't. Not only does my voice not fit, I don't share the same journeys of a 14-year-old magical girl who transforms into something in a very like ching shiny ways. I can't. So I don't audition for those roles. Not that they're ever presented to me in the first place, but I don't. Um, I'll sometimes get sent sides of a 20-something-year-old young soldier in battlefield or whatever. I don't go for those. I don't. Could I? If I try very hard, could I? I could. But there are other 20-something-year-old voice actors who have been to battlefields, and their authenticity is going to shine through a lot brighter than what I can muster in my own imagination. Then there's no point. Business wise, ROI based, my time and my energy is better spent elsewhere than that audition. Which circles around to say self awareness, live
Right.
life,
Right.
right? Experience things so that when that audition comes through, you can be authentic about it. Imagine an audition monologue of this guy who is psyching himself out on the airplane as it climbs to 10,000 feet for the first skydiving experience. Do you think you have you gone skydiving, Jason?
I have not, but I would like to someday.
Right, right. Could you authentically portray that what that guy is feeling sitting in that airplane seat as the plane climbs to 10,000 feet with yourself strapped to the other person who's tandem jumping with you, and the nervousness and the anxiety on the inside about falling out of an airplane 10,000 feet in the air? What if the airplane the parachute doesn't deploy? Whatever the words are, as opposed to someone else who has been there and has
Yeah.
experienced the very same thing, self-awareness. It's the
Right.
job of an actor to live life as we would and archive and record and remember. I've said this oftentimes, number of folks to a number of times. In my self-awareness, I say it's the stuff in my bones. It's in my bones. I've lived it. Uh, Either that or I know it so well that I possess the information. I archive it in here, and I make those references as a gigantic wall of these tiny little drawers. Like drawer number 32, so 3247. It's the airplane in that janky airplane in San Diego that I was sitting in, climbing to 10,000 feet and feeling nervous about the jump that's about to happen in the next 7 minutes. I've been there. It's awesome. Try it. Don't die. But these tiny little drawers that I can pull out of the memories and experiences that I've gone through in the past 42 years of my life that I can lean into or to modify slightly. Um, that 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 courageous battle cry as I lead an army of 40,000 men into battle in this epic RPG, whatever. Um, I might pull out the speech, um, and the pep talk that I've given countless times for various theater productions. I taught high school for 11 years, and there would always be an opening night speech. And standing in front of the cast of 75 students about have fun, get out there, forget you know what you're doing. We've rehearsed for this whole time. Don't worry about it. Lean into your experiences and do it. Everybody support each other, hold hands, and do the whole thing is ingrained in my bones. That talk is ingrained. Football coaches that you've experienced, the movies you've seen, Friday Night Lights with Al Pacino, historic, like locker room speech before a game. All these things that you've either consumed, so it's part of you, or you've done it because it's in your bones. Put it in a drawer, right? The drawer number 3242, whatever it is, an archive. Raise self awareness. Is that how I would do it? Have I been there before? What does that feel like? What is the vibe? What's the temperature of the room? In this capacity, not that don't go kill people and gain the experience of a serial killer. No, no, no.
Method acting.
Right? But there are parallels that you can draw. in our
Right.
imagination, because this is all fictitious. Video games and anime and audio drama, animation, it's all fictitious, right? As best it can be. And our work of existing as authentically as we can in a fictitious story needs to mirror it in our daily lives to gain the self-awareness, so that we know what we would do, so that we're assured that's exactly what I would do, how I would do it in that scenario. Does that answer it?
Yes, that most definitely. Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. Cool.
I'm just curious for you, like, it's like you've been doing this for like a really long time, for years, and I'm just wondering, like, at what point in your career do you feel like you knew what you were doing? Like everything, like I know how I want to audition. I'm to that point, like I have a level of self-awareness where I know what characters I want to go after. Yeah.
I still don't. That's it's the honest truth. I still don't. Um, I don't have a I don't have a well thought out step by step, like I know exactly what I'm gonna do for the next 30 years plan. I don't. Um, and because and I've learned, let's say, I'm real old. I've learned. Listen to your elders. I've learned that leaning into and trusting and placing faith in the things that you do know is a better way to look at it. Now, so again, self-awareness. I know that, as an example, I know that when auditioning, uh, trying to create a perfect MP3 is useless. Trying to give perf the best performance is unproductive. I know, through experience, through podcasts, through interviews, through conversations. I know, hopefully now you'll know as well. I know that having fun, as I would, and leaning into absolutely verifying that this is happiness, because it is for me, honestly and genuinely. And and if anyone here or anywhere else who call themselves an actor is doing it for other reasons like money and fame, they're not gonna do well. Uh, this is happiness for me. The same reason why I'm here as an educator, which is also happiness for me. This is happiness, and this is fun for me. If you couldn't hear the last hour that we've been here, this is happiness. Can you hear it? I hope so. This is genuine, authentic happiness inside. Other people who have happinesses in being and working as a CPA, in because they love spreadsheets and crunching numbers. Good for them. Other people are super happy working as a tour guide in this museum because they love history about this house. Happiness. Um, how do I explain this? It's I'm aware in my self awareness that this is my happiness, honestly, and I don't need to justify it to anyone. It's not their life; it's mine, right? I know that this is happiness for me. So, in the decisions that I make, looking at this from an entrepreneurial standpoint, I know that they are ROI based and they're gonna benefit my business. I know from an artistic point of view, this definitely scratches my artistic itch, and is fulfilling my happiness. Um, and I know from the business side and from the educational side of my happiness, I'm actively teaching, closing credits, private lessons, whatever it is, and that's also feeding and fueling my happiness. Um, and so far, it has not led me down the wrong way. I also know that engaging with other people in this capacity or in any other capacity as a fake mask doesn't work well. I know that. So when I'm in person live studio interacting with directors and audience and it's the same me as I walk in through the door, as I say hi to the receptionist. um my demeanor and personality doesn't change as I talk to a casting director or the president of this studio or the front receptionist or the valet person in the parking lot. I'm the same person. And the way I present myself is authentically me everywhere I go. Cuz I know uh like it's my happiness, and fake doesn't work in acting, in life, anywhere. um and leaning into that idea of living my happiness and bringing my authentic self to everything I do, interactions, auditions, even my online, even the content that I make, right? The number of Genshin clips that you've seen on TikTok and Twitter and other places is me, just me being me. Like those clips aren't manufactured for that specific clip. It's a clip of my streams where I'm just being me, right? It's not me going, okay, in this video, that's with a voiceover. That's not what it is, right? It's a slice of my authentic self playing Genshin and feeding into that happiness, educating people and feeding into that happiness, and being my bubbly, sometimes crazy self in that, telling dad jokes and drinking soju, playing video game, authentic self of me. And leaning into those elements of my daily journey has not led me astray. Has been a good business decision, has been a good career decision, and a personal decision from a happiness standpoint. Um, so in that way, I know what I'm doing. Leaning into those things and letting those things guide me forward, and help me make informed decisions as a business. In that context, I know what I'm doing. But outside of that, there's not much else, I guess. So in those outside else of my core happiness, I don't know what I'm doing. But I genuinely think that I don't have to know, because the last 6 years that I've been doing voiceover specifically, and 5 years, 2017, is when I decided to really lean into happiness and entrepreneurship. So for the past 5 years, it has not led me astray and has put me on a progressive journey forward. So I'm gonna continue to choose to believe and have faith in me being authentic, running a business, right? Entrepreneurial decisions, executive decisions, and feeding my happiness and existing in this universe, doing the things that I want to do with the people that I want to do, that feeds into my own gratitude and happiness that yields in gratitude, and allowing that to fuel me forward in this way, and leaning into that concept is which is what I know how to do. I know what I'm doing in that way, and continue to believe in that. And I have a strange suspicion that it's going to continue to propel me forward, because it has for the past 5 years. Does that answer your question? Hopefully.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer.
Okay, cool. And it really starts with self-awareness. Is it happiness? No one's demanding an answer out of you, right? And there's no reason to lie to yourself. If you are, you shouldn't. What is happiness? What is the thing that makes you giddy when you think about doing it? For some people, it's snowboard instructing, because they love snowboard so much and they want other people to enjoy it. So move to Colorado, or the Aspens, or the Alps, and become a snowboard instructor. You may not enjoy the luxuries of having 3 Rolls Royce in your garage, sure, but every day will be filled with happiness. Um, Maybe your happiness is gardening, like plants. You talk to them and you grow them, and the fruits of your labor. Go become not a farmer in a commercial scale. Maybe that's what you love, but go grow things. See where it leads, and live in your happiness. Um, I'm not gonna say money will take care of itself. That's too naive, and it's too whatever, idealistic maybe. Um, but there are 100% there are ways to turn one's happiness into an entrepreneurial uh, way to generate income, to generate the financial stability. But if that happiness isn't there, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna give up. Uh, and a good indicator. How do you know, June, if that's your happiness? How do you know? If ever you go like, ugh, I have to do this thing again. That's how you know. I think. Whenever there's a sense of like that dread of like, not that everybody's perfect, not that happiness means 100% happiness every single day. We're all gonna have good. We're human beings. We're good days and bad days. But generally, if there's a sense of like, ugh, I have to do this thing again, I don't want to do it. If there's ever a sense of that, then maybe it's time to really think about self-awareness and what makes you happy, what happiness in life is. There's always a way to monetize, to turn it into an entrepreneurial business kind of a thing to generate money. And if that entrepreneurial effort is driven by happiness, you're gonna succeed. You're gonna find a way to succeed, and it's gonna happen, whatever it is. Uh, the invent it. Whoever invented toilet paper, imagine, my gosh, right? Uh, Providing a solution in that way. Whatever it is, whatever the happiness is. For some people it's service, right? They love food, not the cooking aspect, maybe the eating aspect. So you eat, and maybe it's the critique that you love to write about. So you write, you become a food critic, start a blog, start a Twitch channel, go eat things and talk about it. There's ways to monetize and build it into an entrepreneurial effort in some way. What is your happiness? Again, it comes back to self-awareness. 1890. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I looked it up.
Imagine what we were doing before 1890.
I know.
Jesus.
Banana leaves.
It's gotta be happiness. Otherwise, it's you're lying to yourself, and it's not gonna last long. You don't burn out from the things you don't burn out from the things that you love to do, right? I don't burn out from playing video games, please.
If no one has another question,
Ask away, bro. I got you.
So I've heard a lot of advice about like the 5 Ws or like the 6 Ws if you include how. And then I feel like that's something that I'm kind of struggling with as a beginning actor, in the sense that I will sort of imagine what's happening before I start reading the lines. But especially if it's like a long monologue, I guess I'm not really reacting as I'm reading. Like I'm not really, when I'm reading, I'm so focused on like the words and how I'm saying them versus like, oh, how would the other person on the other end be reacting to what I'm saying? And how would I react to their reactions to what I'm saying? So I guess my question is, when you're reading scripts, or when you're voice acting and you're recording, um, what is going through your what are you thinking about, I guess? Are you really thinking about like, oh, how am I gonna my speed, my pitch, and my intensity? Or is it a mix of that with like, oh, what is this, how is this person reacting to me, I guess?
Yeah.
This might
Yeah. Um, the six W's, five W's, one H, how, right? Something like that. Um, is a well documented theater practice, Urahagen, um, about deciding on the context of what is going on, and that is essentially what the Swiss cheese analogy is based on. Um, every script that you'll get, that's self-directed, because if there's a director on the other side, they'll tell you, and should you have a question, you can ask, and they'll fill in the holes for you. You know what I mean? But when you're by yourself recording an audition, hold that thought. I'll be right. I have an answer. I'm gonna get some water and pee. We're drinking water, right? We're voice actors. Go pee. I'll be back. 5 minutes.
how's everyone doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good as well.
I'm doing pretty all right.
I wanted to go to the beach today, but it's really hot and I don't have time.
Oh,
I know.
That's
Maybe
nice.
tomorrow. I don't know.
how close are you to the beach?
30 minutes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm 2 hours. How far are you, Jason?
I would say around that time, yeah, around 2 hours ish.
2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm more
I'm
like 8.
You say you're 8?
Yeah, I'm like middle of
Oh.
the country.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
That's like you can't even do a day trip with 8. You have to like I mean
Yeah,
you
no,
can.
I was born in Kansas. There's nothing. It's in the middle of the country.
Mm-hmm.
I hate
That's
that.
crazy.
Or I
Yeah, I'm
hated it.
actually in Missouri, so yeah, it's
Oh, you're
like
in
right in the-
Missouri? Yeah, I grew up in Kansas City, girl. Ah, and my sister went to
Yay!
Columbia. So yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm in Kansas City, so like that's super cool.
Oh, you're in KC too? Ah, I just
Mhm.
left like 2-3 years ago. But yeah, that's cool.
And I definitely am also gonna get here because I want to see more of the beach. Like I'm definitely more.
Yes, right. Same. I'm a beach girl. It's too flat in Kansas and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Move out to LA. It's great.
Yeah, I know. I was in Burbank for a while. I loved it.
It's only $3,000 for a tiny little 1-bedroom place.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Urahagen, the 5 W's that you heard and other people teach, it's classically,
I don't think I can
fundamentally
do
acting,
this.
right? And
I want to try to put the eyelids.
when we
there.
have the luxury of rehearsal time and space where we can spend some time to analyze this whole thing or whatever, right? The 5 W's make sense, of course. And for our purposes, it's never like, no, you're good, don't worry. It's never a lot. Sometimes it's a live audition. Sometimes it is, but oftentimes it's here's a script. Give this back to us. Give this back to us in a day or two, 24 hours even, right? So you have some time, and it's hopefully easy to sit there and think about, okay, what choices am I gonna make? How am I gonna fill these holes in the Swiss cheese, which are the 5 W's? For me, the analysis PDF that I sent to everybody. Download it and take a look. 5 W's, Urahagen. But those 5 questions and those 5 W's has been boiled down to more of an improvisational capacity of storytelling. If and when you take improv class through closing credits, you'll learn about the relationship, location, and conflict. Not 5 W's and an H, or the 5 W. It's in the chat. Analysis PDF. I'll send it again. 3 things instead of 5 or 6. 3. Relationship, location, conflict. Right, left, and center. Relationship, location, conflict. RLC. Relationship, location, conflict. Right, left, center. Right? We know. Relationship, location, conflict. Who am I talking to? And who is this person? And how do I know this person? How do I feel about this person? What is the relationship? Right? an opinion about this person. Relationship. It's not just who, who am I talking to? There's a lot more that has to be answered and chosen and decided. Who am I talking to? Relationship, relationship, right? Location as well. It's specific. It can't just be the house. Where in the house? How far away? What's around you? Is there something in your hand? What's the temperature like? What time is it? Location. Conflict is a story. What is going on? What has happened before this? What's going to happen after? And why are we saying these words? Story, the conflict. And in my practice, Jason, whenever I receive a script and I have it open in front of me, I read it out loud with my mouth 3 times, each and every time. These scripts, for everybody here, the scripts that we get in audition, in work, or whatever, these scripts are not meant to be read with our eyes. A book is. Literature is. Right? A newspaper is. Analytical document about the company profile is on a website. Meant to be read with our eyes and with our brain. Scripts are meant to be spoken, much like Shakespeare. It's meant to be spoken with the mouth. And if you're not reading out loud, you're not getting it, I promise. Read it out loud. The moment it opens, don't even look at everything else. Scroll down to your character that you want to go for and read it out loud 3 times, top to bottom. And as you read with your mouth, top to bottom, as your brain automatically processes what the words are, side benefit, you're working on cold reading, practicing, good for you, right? That's always a good thing. But as you read the script over and over and over, you're rehearsing. And naturally, because we're human beings, you're gonna pick up on a few elements. What this moment could be about, what this other person could, who this other person could be, what the conflict could be, da 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 da. And you will have an idea of what this story could be about. As I read through the 3 times out loud with my mouth, I'm already answering questions and deciding what is the do I know? Does the script tells me who I'm talking to? If so, great. Then how do I feel about this person? Who is a person in my life, Donald Trump, that I can connect with that I'd love to kill? Right? Liam's like, what? Previous discussion. I did look at the recording. I'm making decisions actively about what could be going on in this tiny little 7-second moment. And by the time the read number 3 is done, I already have 3 different stories I can tell. Deeply ingrained from my own self-awareness of all the thousands of drawers that's in my imaginations. And at least three different stories I could tell about who I'm talking to, what the relationship is, what the location is, and what the conflict is, and what the story is. 3 different ones, at the very least. By the end of the 3rd read, should you get there like right now, today, or tomorrow, this week? No, and that's impossible. It's a honing of the craft. Can you become a fantastically amazing furniture maker tomorrow? You can't. Right? It's a craft that you hone over time, gradually, as you learn nuances, whatever, your tools and your artistry, your definition. But that's what I'm capable of today, and I continue to intend to grow so that I can get there on the first read. And even then, with the 3 stories that I have in my mind, as I go in there to lay down those 3 takes, there other things will come up because I'm thinking about other possibilities. So that those 3 takes turn into 5, 6, 7 of them. But it's not me struggling to say the same thing over and over in this way, but different ideas about what this moment could be. Oh, what if it was like this? Oh, it could be this. And then I'll go, oh, wait, it was actually this story, this person, this relationship. So I'll put those takes down. And I know that when I come out of there to edit on my DAW, every single one will be suitable to send. Yeah, there's gonna be flubs. I'm human. There's gonna be the dog that barks, the whatever it is. So I'll take those out, obviously, and edit as needed. but I know each and every one of those takes will be suitable to send. Pick the two most fun, amazing, and compelling, and then I send.
Uh,
So practically, as you read the script out loud, choose. Who am I talking to? The relationship. How do I know this person? How do I feel about this person? What history do we have? Right? Relationship. Put it in the location. Where are we? What's around us? How dark? How bright? What does the smell feel like? What's the temperature? Where? The location. The conflict. What's happened before? What's happening now? That's motivating me to say these words. Why am I saying these words to this person in this specific location? Why? Right? The conflict. Answer these things. Choose. If it's given to you, it's a present. It's a gift. You don't have to think about it anymore. Here you go, right? But if it's missing, if it's a hole in the Swiss cheese, choose from the thousands of drawers that you have and fill it. Choose. And hopefully by the end of the third read, you'll have some answers about what this moment could be about and how it relates to your experience so that you can more easily assess, yeah, that's how I would do it. Does that make sense?
If I could just clarify, so when you're going through and you're reading it 3 times or how many times to sort of get acquainted with the script and you're asking your own questions and whatnot, are you recording or is this all before you do even your first take?
Even before I go in there, yeah.
I see. And so you're doing that without looking at the context of the read.
I am. I for me anyway, I read everything. From the specs, because it's cold. It's nice cold reading exercise for me. That's a side benefit. I read everything.
I see.
That's just what I do, though. Other people do it differently, but I read everything 3 times.
I see. And then, okay, I think I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So that when I step into a studio, right, and oftentimes you won't be given an advanced copy. Here, study this before you show up or whatever it is. You won't be a lot of the time. Sometimes yes, a lot of the times no. It's crucially important to have solid cold reading abilities, because every flub that you do is a retake. They can't keep it. Right? Every flub is going to be a retake. No, guaranteed. They can't keep it. So the more efficient you can become as a cold reader and combine it with acting, authenticity, right? But the more cold reading ability that you can possess and hone and perfect to an extent, and there's strategic ways to do it. A really good way to start is to read 4 or 5 words ahead with your eyes and let your mouth catch up. There are strategies you can deploy to be an efficient cold reader, right? Look it up or try for yourself. Take a piece of text and read with your eyes ahead 4 or 5 words and let your brain, tell your brain to consciously fall behind 4 or 5 words of your eyes. It's possible. It's doable. And you'll be surprised how well that works. You'll eventually come to a point where you can read 1 word ahead. 1. Eventually 0. Eventually you'll be able to take a look at a script that you've never seen and be able to go at a first read without flubs. It's a practice skill, right? Archery, can you imagine? Practiced and honed craft and skill. And you show up to this session and there's, let's say it's ADR. Let's say it's ADR and you've never seen any of the scripts because of NDAs or whatever. And as the words are presented to you in a spreadsheet and you're expected to do the 3 beeps and say it, or the words are scrolling by in voice cue like karaoke, as the words come, you need to be able to read. And if you can nail that take the first time, now we don't have to spend another 5 minutes dealing with your flubs because you can't read.
I
And
think the
go ahead,
the
go ahead.
what I'm sort of personally struggling with this with reading ahead is that when I try reading ahead, I have to read it in like a very monotone, I'm not really thinking about what's happening voice because for me personally, when I as soon as I also try to like really act while also reading ahead, it's like I sort of break down in a way like I can't really like I'm struggling to act out emotionally while in my head I'm like, okay, what is the next word? What is the next word? Don't make a flub, I guess, if that makes sense. Or cold read.
In audition capacity, don't worry so much about the flubs. Uh, keep them even. I would dare to say, as long as you're in an authentic moment of being Jason in a given story. Everything we talked about so far, right? Um, shit. Jason, how old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay. Uh, let's go find a casting call.
All right. Sure.
What better way to demonstrate than to demonstrate?
All righty. Yeah. Sounds good.
Da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to the VA casting call. Um, Twitter.
Oh, all right.
Da-da-da-da. Here. Here's a random. Well, not random, I guess, but here's one. Um, like for you, obviously Murphy McCallan, right? Young man is early
Oh,
20s. You're 19, so that works. Blah 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 blah. And I'll
I
read.
think
A young man in his early 20s, earnest, inquisitive, and with an enthusiasm that makes up for his naivety. Still fumbling, because I'm not perfect at cold reading either. An everyman character, the player will be happy to join in his adventure. Murphy begins the game seeing himself as a treasure hunter, ready to search the supposedly haunted island for a cursed treasure that is last seen decades ago. And look at how quickly I'm going, right? My cold reading ability is there. Almost there. Ever since he read about the treasure inside Belmore Manor, he's been unable to get it out of his mind. Without much of a past, this is his ticket to making a future. Eager but unused to the world outside his bubble, perhaps that decision was somewhat foolish? Sound, Elijah Wood type, but not an impression of him. A younger George Stubbart, an American accent, but not Southern. Murphy will talk in both past tense narration and present tense conversations. See Broken Sword's main character for an example. Their link. Approximate word count 3,600 slash $720. Introducing himself pleasantly, optimistically. Say it. Go.
my name's Murphy McCallan. I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor.
Good. Just that, and then opening line of the game, mystery. So these are different lines. That's fine.
I feel like I've cheated with this because I've actually looked at this audition site.
Oh, good. That's fine. Like
Um,
that first line, and I think these are separate lines, right?
right,
Opening
right.
line, tongue in cheek, dramatically. So they're separate. So this is not a scene, like a side of what happens sequentially, but four separate moments. Four separate moments.
Looks like for
They
yeah.
want you to write. Looks like that. So my name is Murphy McCallan. I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor. That line, a singular, I don't know, 4 second, 5 second moment, can be anything, right? It doesn't say a lot. It says your name is Murphy McCallan and you're looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor, but it doesn't introducing himself pleasantly, optimistically, but it doesn't say who he's talking to, where he is, and what the story is. It's missing all three elements: the relationship, location, and conflict. So we
Right.
decide, Jason. I'll read it 3 times. My name is Murphy McCallan. I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor. My name is Murphy McCallan. I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor. My name is Murphy McCallan. I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor. I already have 3 stories in my mind. Story number 1, Murphy McCallan has opened the door into the sitting room of this king's hall mistakenly, accidentally. And it's a moment where there was a lively political conversation that was happening between the house, the king of this country, and all the important lawmaking important figures of the country. Everybody stops talking and everybody looks at me because they didn't expect the door to open, some random guy to pop in. So I'm introducing myself pleasantly because it's a very awkward moment. And at the end of this, they'll tell me to go away, and I'll shut the door and I'll go. Story number 2. I'm Murphy McCallan, and I'm meeting a girl for the first time in this like awkward blind date that I've been forced to go to by my mom. And this girl named Jennifer is very pretty, and definitely my type. And my mom has gotten it right for the first time after 72 other tries to try to fix me up. So I'm pleasantly surprised. Here I am in this upscale restaurant with white gloves and 2-star Michelin house. And as I try to pleasantly and optimistically introduce myself in hopes that she'll also be a person that I might pursue and host and what is that word? Court. Hopes for the future. Story number 3. I am at a Starbucks ordering a drink with a barista, and the barista is having a terrible day, and I can tell. This big guy who is 47 years old, who doesn't want to be here right now for whatever reason. He's having a terrible day, and I'm trying to inject some humor, maybe just try to make him laugh, because we could all use a little laughter, I guess, right? To have a moment in hopes that maybe he'll do an extra pump of chocolate in there for me. I don't know. I'll try to make his day. Story number 1. My name is Murphy McCallan. I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor. Story number 2. I'm Murphy McCallan. I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor. Name's Murphy McCallan. I'm looking for the treasure of Belmore Manor. I don't know. Would I do it that way? I think so. I might do another set of takes and maybe adjust it a little differently. Decide on the time. How many people are behind me on Starbucks, and do I feel their glare in the back of my head, like order your fucking drink and get out? Do I feel that pressure? Maybe. Right? As I play with these elements more about what is going on, it's gonna inspire me to say these words in a certain way. Take 1, take 2, take 3. Repeat the process for line 2, line 3, line 4.
I see. That was really insightful. Thank you.
Look at me all coming on to you. I'm Murphy McCallan. I haven't flirted with anybody, holy crap, in decades. I'm very happily married, so I don't have a reason to flirt with anyone. Hey, baby, how are you doing?
You have your wife to practice on. That's the best part.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's the way I flirt with my wife is hugs. I squeeze. I give the best bear hugs. The dad hugs. Oh yeah. Those are my redeeming qualities. Dad hugs.
Hugs to match the jokes.
It's true. It's true. Nice to meet you. I'm Dad. I've done it before too. Funny enough. Like, hi, I'm Jane. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, nice to meet you. Tired. I'm June. I'm Dad. Drink water. Don't forget. Hydrate.
It's funny, I actually just finished some tea, so I'm also, getting hydrated. But I do have another question, and it's kind of like, I guess it might be simple, I don't know, but you were talking before about like being on different platforms and like marketing yourself as a voice actor. And I actually just followed you on Twitter, but I was just wondering, like outside of Twitter, like are there any other platforms that you recommend like for voice actors to be? And yeah, I'm just like curious, like how do you market yourself, or like how do you manage that with also, like voice acting all the time? Like, where do you find that balance?
I recently talked made a post about this, about the idea of marketing. Let me find it here real quick. It wasn't that long ago. Oh la 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 la. I wanna start with this post. My tirade. That's about coaching. TLDR, marketing is not about hi, I'm a voice actor, hire me. There it is. And copy and paste. Please read that thread when you get a chance. Um, marketing for voice actors is not hire me. I'm a voice actor. We are not commercial products. um, even then, it's arguable. Uh, a Chevy commercial will never say buy a Chevy today. Never. Um, an Apple product, an iPhone, iWatch, Apple Watch, iWatch, will never say buy this watch. Never. Instead, it's about feelings. It's about perception. It's about brand and what it stands for and how it makes us feel. Those directions are more effective as a marketing effort than here's what I can do, so hire me. Um, Analogies. Think back to high school. Think back to college, right? Um, arguably, arguably, we learned more, and we learned more efficiently, more happily, more willingly from the teachers that we liked. Um, Arguably, there may be exceptions, sure, but we learned more and we got more information willingly from the teachers that we liked. Um, the people from a character genre under that umbrella, the people that are going to hire us are casting directors and studio executive uh, coordinators, those folks. And 100% unarguably, uh, every time, we as human beings want to work with people that we like, people that we know, people that we know, people that we like, and the people that we know that we like, right? I'm not saying go market yourself and be likable. That's not what I'm saying. and look how likable I am. That's not what I'm saying. But do demonstrate, do demonstrate, because we're in 2022 and we're talking about social media, do demonstrate your likability as a person, because you are a likable person. Unless you're not, then you're in the wrong business. Um, and demonstrate who you are in your authenticity, in your authenticity, without lying, without fabricating, without personifying even. And the best way to demonstrate your optimism, your positivity, your laughter, your happiness, all the things that sometimes your misery, sometimes your sadness, your hesitancy, your anxiety, whatever it is, the more that we can demonstrate uh, ourselves in our authentic moments of whatever, um, the better. The better other folks learn about who we are, what we believe in, how we think, the things that we hold dear and sincere, in our moments of authentic happiness and joy, and support and empathy, kindness. Arguably, all the things that inspire others to form a positive opinion about us who as people. Guaranteed, the jerks of the world don't work well in entertainment. Unless there's another reason, I guess. Um, Generally, I would argue that if you're likable, you're kind, you're empathetic, you're a good person, and the more people that know of your personality, of your person, the better, I would argue, because we want to work with people that we like. So, to answer your question, um, on various platforms that exist in this world, it is a voice actor's job from a marketing standpoint of that entrepreneurial energy. From the marketing standpoint, it's our job to let the world know, or a specific target audience segment of people know that we exist. Number one, but not only do we exist, but we're also the people that others want to work with, people others would love to work with, people others have worked with. How do we do that? How do we do that? Not by, here's my demo, listen to it. We don't watch commercials, right? You don't watch commercials. There's technology that exists that skips commercials. Why do we have that? Right? We don't listen to commercials. There's no willingness to consume commercials. But we do watch a lot of YouTube videos. We do watch a lot of Twitch streamers. Why? It's content that we want to consume. Content that we want to consume. And in this day and age of 2022, if you can create content that people will want to consume, then they will. Better yet, if that content would have a purpose baked into it, a reason for people to watch. For my needs, I can talk about my journeys, right? For my practice, I stream on Twitch, displaying unapologetically displaying uh my happiness in Genshin Impact, in streaming, in video games, in talking about educating voice actors. Multiple layers of happiness on display twice a week, hopefully, and more, because I want to do more. I love it. And the folks who come to consume, nobody forced them to come. I don't interrupt the programming to show you my Twitch stream, right? People willingly come and consume. And then I take those video clips of educational portions and I publish everywhere. And those tiny little clips of me playing Genshin Impact and talking about voice acting, there's a purpose. Teaching, information about voice acting. So folks, the specific segment of voice actors who are trying to learn or get more information about this whole journey are watching this clip, number one, so they can learn, right? Information that I'm handing out. At the same time, they're also watching like the authentic happiness that I'm living through in that specific moment, listening to the words that I'm saying in my voice. So for that specific segment of voice actors whose purpose is to learn, they're watching and they're consuming perfectly fine. And logistically, mechanically, people are listening to my voice. That's what we want. That's the concept of marketing for voice actors, is it not? Um, in my authentic moment, I'm not reading a script. I'm perfectly happy and smiling and laughing, telling dad jokes and drinking soju. Love it, right? And from the other segment, for whom those pieces of clips are intended for, um, the casting directors, for example, uh, have a positive impression because they're watching this actor be authentic, be real, positive, and believable. Because I am. It's my happiness. Genshin Impact, video game, streaming, in this energetic, happy, positive moment that I'm not fabricating, obviously. There's that. It's also educational for them as well. Maybe the things that may not have known how an actor perceives this thing, this aspect of our industry. So there's there's relatable information for them as well. So they're watching. They also want their actors to be well informed, right? Better the actors in the pool, the better. So they'll share with others who could use that information. So now more people are listening to my voice and observing the capacity and with capacity of happiness that I can achieve in that 1 minute clip. And that's true for Twitter, where my target demographic, entrepreneurial, where my target demographic is voice actors for educational purposes and casting director studio perspectives in those audiences. What I post, the same video that gets posted on LinkedIn, has a different copy. I don't know if you've ever visited my LinkedIn page and consumed the same videos on LinkedIn. It's presented differently. As a colleague, as an advisor and a mentor, as a thought-provoking question. Not all the time. I'm just human, but to incur more. That's the segment of population on LinkedIn is more colleague-based, professional colleague-based, who might inquire more communication to happen. Admittedly, I'm not very active on LinkedIn, and in my entrepreneurial strategy in LinkedIn marketing on that specific platform, I'm trying to encourage conversations to occur so that I will indeed achieve more presence on that platform. Same thing with TikTok. Captions, headings. There's not a lot of copy because the platform doesn't allow for it. But specific hashtags, I'll put in popular music as needed so that it gets out more as I try to establish my presence on that platform more. I wish I was more famous everywhere. I don't give a shit about fame. But strategically, online presence so that people are more aware of my existence and what I can offer, which is what we want as marketing as voice actors. But not have I ever uttered once in any of the streams and any of the clips that I've ever produced as content, go to my website and hire me. I'm not trying to appear as a likable person. I know I am. Thank you. That's not what I mean. I'm trying to, in my marketing effort, I'm trying to create content so that content with purpose and a reason so that folks will consume. And in the specific demographic of population, the segment of population that I want to watch my content, I'm communicating certain messages. Not that I'm a likable person, but here is an example of me in my happiness. Here's an example of me in a moment of shock and disbelief. From a very like surface level things. Here's a moment of me in deep thought and reflective introspectiveness. I don't know. And that's just Twitch streaming. There's clips of me singing. There's clips of me making food. There's clips of me in a car talking about buying a kimchi refrigerator because I love my wife. Right? These moments of authentic truths of who I am and what I do and what it's like to work with me, maybe. Is the marketing message I'm trying to send. And sure enough, as it turns out, we love to watch human beings love to watch other human beings who love what they do. And can arguably see the evidence, experience it for themselves how authentic they are. Because we can all sense fake to a degree. When someone's being fake, you can smell it. But if the content that you create for TikTok, especially for TikTok, statistically and trend-wise, that's where all the attention is right now, right? And the same reason why we have billboards in Times Square, attention. People are there. If you could exist in that space and display and demonstrate your authentic self in various shades and diversity of emotions and circumstances, without even saying a single word about I'm a voice actor, hire me, then I think you're establishing a brand, an identity that other people will be happy to consume. Because you're not trying to sell them anything. Better yet, if you can give them a purpose to consume, whether it's entertainment, because you know how to juggle cats, I don't know, and it's entertaining to watch as you talk, or you're dispensing information. 11 years as a high school teacher, a theater teacher. I'm very good. I know in my self-awareness, I'm very, very good at dealing with and teaching and interacting with and guiding and mentoring and helping fundamentals of acting. For folks in the beginning phases of their career, for folks who want a stronger, more solid foundational base of acting, for folks who need a refresher in this way. I know that I'm well versed in that. And it's my happiness. Otherwise, why did I do it for 11 years? It's happiness. Me existing stewing in my own happiness, which I utilize as marketing to say, look at me in my happy moments, in the most like introspective and thoughtful moments, which is still part of my happiness. And look at the result of my marketing. These clients, these IP, these characters in my resume. So the marketing on TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, social media wise, specifically in the platform-based social media 2.0 version, it cannot be, because no one will watch it, no one will listen. It cannot be, here's my demo, listen to it. You can, once in a while, if you've been giving, give, content, right? If Catabel juggled cats, and every video, every day for 30 days, she added one cat. So on the 30th day, she's juggling 30 cats in the air. And on day 31, if Catabel ever said to me in a video, like, I hope you enjoyed the series of cat juggling for 30 days, I would appreciate it if you would listen to my demo. I would. Because she's provided me with so much entertainment value that I'd be willing to give back. But if you come at me day one, here's my demo, please listen to it, I'm not gonna. Why would I? Why should I? There's no inherent value for me to do it. Not for the purposes of appearing as likable, right? Not for the purposes of pushing your demo or pushing your higher ability cast stability, but for the purposes of letting folks know that you exist and letting folks know and showing folks you in your moment of authenticity. Whether it's self talks in the parking lot in the car, whether it's you streaming on Twitch a video game that's been edited, clipped together like this, whether it's you in the shower singing because that's what you love to do. Please, curtains and privacy, obviously. Um, but whatever it might be, and if you look at social media marketing from that lens, from that perspective, then the task becomes quite simple. Look into your self-awareness. Again, it all circles back to the actor's honing of the craft of self-awareness. Look into your self-awareness and decide which happiness you like to act upon. For some, there's a voice actor. His name's Levi. He loves gardening. He's in North Carolina. He has this huge property behind his house, and there's a big ass garden where he grows bean and watermelons and corn and the purple egg pipe eggplant
Egg pipe.
egg pipes. And he knows about the seasonal changes, the soil, the nitrogen, the feed, the watering schedule. He knows because it's his happiness, right? It's got nothing to do with voice acting. Zero. But he's informing his audience about gardening. He's entertaining because he'll talk to the plants in character voices, which is fun. And when he zooms into that one tiny little tomato that's budding, every week I get this, that's so cool feeling. And he's just living his happiness and authenticity. Chris Greenfield. If you're on TikTok, you've seen him by now. The guy with the really deep voice who does the whole like these are your lines and these are my lines. That one. He didn't have that following 6 months ago. He's a writer. He's a voice actor and he's a writer. He loves writing is a happiness for him. And he's seen other TikTok people, voice actors, do the whole. Are you that guy with the bald head? I forget his name. Are you a voice actor? Find out, and he does points this and gets out of it. That guy, right? He's seen those videos, and he's worked with me a number of coaching capacities like this, where he understood that if he writes a good copy that can be interpreted to various ways, and he loves to write, so he writes. Exists in his own happiness at his desk, writing away these things. This is gonna be awesome. He writes, and he makes TikToks, and now he's like 200,000 something followers in this capacity, and he's well known, very well known, and because he is well known, because people have found value in his content as they duet and practice their own acting. Right? There's an inherent value to consume and act upon the things that he's made. More of his videos are being seen by people. More of his voice is being heard by people. Marketing. And as a result, he has received number of opportunities and things that we can't talk about, NDAs, as a result. Imagine that. Marketing. Things come your way. So it's never gonna be about I'm a voice actor, here's my demo, please hire me. No one will. Not today. Maybe 20 years ago. But today, within this prolific landscape of content and the absolute saturation of voice actors in the industry, no one will. But you give them a reason to watch, give them a reason to listen, then they will. Even better, if that reason provides some kind of a value, a strong intrinsic reason for me to sit here and watch that 3-minute TikTok, then they will. Other people won't. If I'm an accountant and I'm scrolling through TikTok and here comes a video of this Asian dad guy playing Genshin Impact talking about voice acting, it's got nothing to do with me. I'll scroll by, perfectly okay. They are not part of my demographic. Do I worry about that? No, I'm just doing what I want to do, living in my happiness. And my time, I don't care about the analytics of my videos and how they perform. I don't. I'm simply doing what I love to do, existing in my happiness. So the time that I spent in playing Genshin Impact, playing and talking with the community and helping with voice acting for various number of voice actors, 4 hours a week since I stream officially twice a week, is not lost on me. It's not a negative ROI decision on my business. It's not. I get to live in my own happiness and I get to help other people. The picture comes together, if you will.
I love that answer. Thank you so much. And like, I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know that, time is up, but I just want to say like, I think that's great because I feel like I actually come from like a communications background, so I hear a lot about marketing, but I feel like since getting into voice acting, it is different because you are marketing yourself, but at the same time, to your point, you don't want to seem like a product. So it's like your answer is more like, just be yourself, and people will come, and that is like your brand. So it's not as nichey because I feel like everyone is very like, oh, you have to do this and this, like you have to be very niche with things, and this answer kind of feels more like you're being yourself, and then you kind of that in and of itself kind of develops a niche around you that's still authentic to who you are, but is it so limiting and in a lot of ways, like, because you are showing yourself fully, because that's what you kind of need to do as a voice actor. Like that's what people want to see, the range of who you are. So
That is the product we're offering. Our own authentic selves. We're not selling corn. We're not selling mugs, right? We're selling ourselves. We're not selling our acting. We're not selling our voice either. Let's be very clear about this. We're not selling our voice either. We're bringing the service that we're actively selling in the business, strictly business perspective, I guess, is our ability to be ourselves inside a fictitious story. That's acting, right? To be a believable person in a fictitious story. That's acting at its core fundamental basis. If you can bring that and demonstrate that you're able to do that, that's marketing. And I promise, as Gabriel auditions for this thing, and this other guy who kind of sounds like Gabriel, who has a similar acting capability and characterization and strong choices and personality as Gabriel, and if those two end up as the top two choice, they're gonna go with the guy they know. You know?